Before we begin, warning. This is the kind of horror movie that even ghosts would be afraid to watch, and it comes from the mind of James Wan, the master of modern horror. This is Insidious. Are you ready? The movie opens with a terrifying seance. A masked psychic sits in the dark, trying to contact a spirit. Her assistant listens carefully through headphones, monitoring strange energy signals in the room. The air feels heavy. As the man begins calling out the spirit's name, everyone's heart starts racing. Then suddenly, the camera flashes start flickering. A piercing scream echoes through the room, and before anyone can react, something takes control of a young boy's body. The boy is thrown across the room like a doll. His father is violently slammed into a corner. Whatever this entity is, it's far more powerful than they imagined. But how did this begin? It all started when a family moved into a new house. They believed this was a fresh start, a new life. But on the very first night, something felt wrong. Their young son was playing upstairs alone. Suddenly, the attic door slowly creaked open. No wind, no one there. But it felt like something was calling him, pulling him closer. Late at night, holding a small light, the boy walked up into the attic. He looked around. Old boxes, dust, silence. Then he noticed something strange above him. Curious, he climbed up a ladder to reach it, and in the next second, the ladder snapped. He crashed down hard. In pain, he looked up into the darkness and saw a shadow, a figure standing there, watching him. His mother rushed upstairs. His father followed. But when they checked the attic, there was nothing. No shadow. No sign of anything. Their son had only minor injuries, so they brushed it off. But as they were leaving, they noticed something chilling. A box in the corner of the attic. They had just moved in. They never put anything up there. So where did the box come from? And that was only the beginning. The very next day, their son suddenly fell extremely ill. His skin turned pale. He stopped waking up. Doctors ran every test possible. Everything was normal. No disease, no explanation. Yet he remained in a deep coma. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. 3 months passed. Nothing changed. And then, the younger brother started hearing footsteps at night. Slow, heavy, walking inside his room. But every time he opened his eyes, silence. Nothing there. One night, he heard the footsteps again. He slowly closed his door. The moment it shut, the footsteps returned. Closer. He froze, ran under his blanket, and told his mother everything. But here's the terrifying part. His older brother was still in a coma. So if he couldn't move, who was walking in that room? And that's when the family realizes, this is not about the house. It's not a ghost. It's something much darker. Something that didn't follow them home. Because it was already inside. And what they discover next will take them into a place called The Further. Lisa quickly tells her husband what their younger son heard, but Josh doesn't believe it. It's just a child's imagination, he says. And the moment those words leave his mouth, bang, bang, bang. Loud, aggressive knocking shakes the front door. Josh freezes. Slowly, he walks downstairs to check. He looks outside. Nothing. No one. The street is empty. Confused, he locks the door and goes back upstairs. But the second they enter their bedroom, a piercing alarm goes off, and the front door opens again. Now Josh knows something is wrong. He grabs a metal bat and slowly walks through the dark hallway. Every shadow feels alive. Every sound feels closer. He checks the living room. No one. He shuts the door again. That night, they barely survive the fear, but they still don't understand. This is only the beginning. The next morning, Lisa is changing her unconscious son, and that's when she sees it. A massive bloody handprint beside his leg, as if something tried to drag him away. Her heart drops, and suddenly she remembers. Last night, after Josh went downstairs, she heard a baby crying. She thought it was her daughter, so she rushed into the room. But instead of her child, she saw a dark figure standing behind the curtain, watching her, smiling, now staring at the bloody handprint. Lisa realizes this house is not normal. Something is here, and it wants her son, so she makes a decision. They move out. New house, new start. Problem solved, right? Wrong, because the horror follows them. On the very first day in the new house, Lisa takes out the trash, and through the window, she sees a strange little boy inside the house, standing there, still, staring. She runs inside. No one. Gone. She stands there, confused. They moved. So how is this still happening? Suddenly, a door slams shut by itself. The little boy flashes past again. Lisa slowly follows, her hands shaking. Then she sees it, a wooden rocking horse, moving on its own, back and forth, back and forth. She grabs it to stop it, and right behind her, the door violently swings open. She steps outside, her breathing heavy. She knows now. Moving didn't fix anything. It made it worse. Whatever this is, it isn't attached to the house. It's attached to her son. So she tells Josh they need help, real help. And that's when they call the white-haired woman we saw at the beginning, Elise. She may look calm, but she's one of the most powerful paranormal investigators out there. She walks into their home quietly, slowly scanning the rooms. She doesn't need long. Within minutes, she says, "This house is not haunted." Everyone freezes. Then she looks at the boy lying in a coma. He is. The room goes silent. Elise explains, "Their son is not sick. He's trapped. His soul has traveled somewhere else, somewhere dark, somewhere called the Further. And worst of all, there is a demon watching him right now." She looks up toward the ceiling and says the demon is hiding in the corner above them on the beams, watching, waiting. Elise calls her assistant, and based on what she sees, she has the demon sketched. A red-faced creature with black eyes, sharp claws, and a hunger for souls. This is no ordinary spirit. This is something ancient, something evil, and it wants the boy's body, because if his soul doesn't return, the demon will take his place. Lisa was trembling with fear. She rushed to her son and saw it. The same ghostly figure she had seen before, hovering in the air, almost following her every move. But now, help had arrived. Mei Yi, the white-haired exorcist, entered the house. She explained, "Your son isn't sick. He's a natural star projector." Star projection means his soul can leave his body. Little Xiao thought he was just wandering, but in reality, his soul was lost in a dark, empty space, haunted by demonic forces. This is why all the strange events were happening in the house. Doors opening and closing on their own. Shadows moving, strange noises, everything was connected. If they hadn't discovered this in time, the demon would have dragged Xiao's soul straight into hell. Mei Yi revealed, the only solution now is a powerful summoning ritual to bring Xiao's soul back from the dark void. Only then could the chaos end. Otherwise, the demon inside him would run wild. They prepared immediately. Lightning flashed. Thunder roared, the wind howled like a storm, and then the demon appeared. With one strike, it sent an assistant flying several meters. Mei Yi sprang into action. She held Xiao's forehead tightly and shouted at the demon, "Leave now!" Within moments, the demon was expelled. Calm returned to the house. Mei Yi contacted Xiao's mother immediately. Xiao's father, Zhou, was confused. What does my mother have to do with this? But Mei Yi revealed something shocking. Xiao's condition comes from your unique inherited ability. As a child, Zhou had experienced the same. Sudden soul projections and strange phenomena. Even in photographs, a mysterious shadow would appear. At first, Zhou's mother dismissed it as a camera glitch. But as the events grew stronger, she realized, "My son is cursed by a demon." To save him, she called Mei Yi. The exorcist performed a powerful ritual, and Zhou's memories and powers were temporarily sealed. Peace returned. Now Zhou understood, and to save Xiao's soul, he must unseal himself and enter the dark void. Only then could the family escape this nightmare. Zhou took a deep breath, and with courage, followed Mei Yi's advice. Now begins the final confrontation with real terror and ghostly forces. The terrifying journey had only just begun. But now, the real danger emerged. Aoi immediately grabbed a bright lamp. Following Mei Yi's guidance, he cautiously stepped into the darkness. As he entered a room, a demon in a wedding dress suddenly flashed past him. Aoi rushed after it, but the deeper he went, the more demons appeared. Crying women in the corners, children vanishing into thin air, and the room itself completely silent, filled with dread. Time seemed to plunge into an abyss. Aoi carefully moved forward, constantly searching for his trapped son. Then suddenly, the sound of a gunshot rang in his ears. He followed the sound back to the living room and saw the motionless demon holding a shotgun. Terrified, Aoi ran, only to stumble upon a red door. He guessed his son might be inside and hurried forward. But in the next moment, another terrifying demon appeared and pounced on him. In the real world, Aoi struggled uncontrollably. Mei Yi's voice guided him, and he finally broke free from the demon's grip. Aoi opened the red door, walking through the shadowy corridor, and finally found his trapped son. But just as he unlocked the chains, he suddenly saw something horrifying. Looking back, a blood-red demon approached him. It slammed Aoi to the ground and attacked again, so powerful that the entire house shook. Aoi showed courage, lifting his son and fleeing. Dark shadows and ghostly figures surrounded them. The house shuddered violently and the lights went out. At that critical moment, Liza used her voice to guide them, helping them find a safe path through the horde of demons. As the house gradually calmed, Mei Yi realized Aoi was almost back. Suddenly, the room shook again, and an eerie noise echoed through every corner. Before they could react, a demon appeared behind the kitchen cabinets. They quickly closed the cabinets, shining their lamp on Aoi. This prevented the demons from entering the real world through him. Liza rushed to Aoi, calling him back. He opened the front door with his son, and in the mirror, they saw the same demon that haunted him before. Finally, Aoi returned to the real world, and his son woke up. But the story wasn't over yet. Before leaving, Mei Yi noticed something about Aoi, and quickly snapped a photo. This enraged Awe. In anger, he attacked Mei Yi. Liza rushed over and saw Mei Yi lying pale-faced on the sofa, and Awe's husband was nowhere to be found. Awe searched the house, but all he found was a camera. No doubt, the horror film Mosquito Man masterfully brings fear to life. Without relying on over-the-top effects, the tension and atmosphere alone make it incredibly chilling. That's it for now. If this gave you chills, subscribe and turn on notifications. Hit like if you survived, and comment the part that scared you most. We'll meet again in the next terrifying adventure.